All right, Pitar says, action! Action! We're on! Let's talk to our guest, Dr. Peter McCullough, world-renowned physician and scientist, chief scientific officer at the Wellness Company. Great company. Talk about lifesavers. I just bought a kit from them that has all kinds of antibiotics in it and ivermectin in it. I bought that kit. No, I don't get things like that free, or I could, but I went and bought it online. I paid my money and I bought it because I want to make sure my wife and I have the latest antibiotics if something goes wrong. His website is standing for The Wellness Company. Is twc.health. The Wellness Company. twc.health. He is Mr. Health. Dr. Peter McCullough, my buddy. How you doing, Peter?
Great to see you again, Wayne.
Yes, I bought that kit you guys sell. And I just, you never know. I don't get sick, but you never know. One day I could get sick, and I want to make sure I'm ready because I just celebrated my 65th birthday. And you know what? Things are a little different when you're 65 than when you're 40. And so for the last 30 years, I've been on a great run. I've been sick 3 times in the last 30 years with minor colds. But you never know, now that I'm 65, what hits you strong. And so I wanted to make sure I had your kit in hand. So thank you for coming up with a beautiful kit like that.
A good move, Wayne. I know you're proactive. You and Cindy are in, really exquisite health. And you should enjoy your 60s and 70s. I'm right there with you. But let me tell you what, you're going to need that kit because America is in the middle of a Cyclospora outbreak.
So tell me about this Cyclospora outbreak. What is it about? What is Cyclospora? How did they get it? How do you treat it? How bad is it going to get?
Cyclospora is a protozoa. It's like a parasite. It's in water. It tends to live in stagnant pond water. It can be in dirty water that they use to water lettuce down in Mexico. And it's epidemiologically been linked to Taylor Farms, which is shipping lettuce. At first, it was thought to be just Taco Bell, but wait a minute. They ship lettuce to Kroger and Meijer and all the grocery stores, the big chains out there, all the Yum brands, which operate a lot of fast food restaurants. And the lettuce got contaminated. People are getting sick. And this can be explosive watery diarrhea, cramping, dehydration for a month. But it can be stopped. It must be stopped with treatment with trimethoprim sulfamethoxazole, which is Bactrim or Septra. This is a generic antibiotic, and so it's in your emergency medical kit. So we're telling patients, we've all been briefed on this at the Wellness Company. In fact, a family has this in my office today, that they need to start treatment immediately with the trimethoprim sulfamethoxazole. Don't wait for a stool test. It's going to take too long. We know what this is. Empirically treat.
So what do you do if you're like my beautiful wife, Cindy, who is allergic to sulfur and can't take sulfa drugs? What do you do then?
Well, there at the Wellness Company, our doctors would prescribe a second-line drug, either nitrous oxide or there's some other drugs that could be used. Trimethoprim sulfamethoxazole is the best, but we'll use a secondary agent. It's also important to have some Imodium around, or Imodium AD, so pick that up at the pharmacy. Listen, this is in the food supply now. There's thousands of cases. Hundreds of people have been hospitalized. I do worry about our senior citizens. It may not be just lettuce, and so I think we all should be prepared.
I think it's kind of ironic, and believe me, I'm not laughing at anything or anybody because I don't want anybody to get sick ever, let alone this thing with explosive diarrhea. What a horrible thing. But it's just ironic. I'm on the caveman diet, right? For years now. I eat pretty much nothing but meat and chicken, steak, and shrimp and things like that all day long, right? And sushi. I eat a lot of sushi. I really don't eat any carbs. I eat pure protein. And so I don't eat much in the way of lettuce. I don't really ever eat any salads. And these people are trying to be healthy and eat good things. And they're eating salads and fruits and they're getting deathly ill. And it's kind of ironic and kind of funny in a strange, macabre way that the guy who eats meat and they all think meat's unhealthy. And these people are eating fruit and vegetables and they're getting sick. But I think the caveman diet's the way to go.
Well, we should cook our food well. Certainly when you have meat, you're cooking it well. But, there was just a recall of eggs recently for salmonella, for instance. So when there's a widespread outbreak like this, a lot of produce and meat are shipped in the same trucks and containers. I worry about cross-contamination, so wash the vegetables well. grill your your meats and vegetables well. And when you eat salads, just make sure that the leaves are washed well. I had a salad today. But listen, if this diarrhea hits, don't fool around with it. Immediately start the medicine in the Wellness Company Emergency Medical Kit. Now, for your kit, for Cindy, who's allergic to sulfa, just use the telemedicine function in the kit, and they'll get you an alternative medication.
All right, and what you talked about scared me, because now you say there could be cross-contamination if in the same truck as the lettuce and the meat. Yeah, but if you cook the meat, you're going to kill the bacteria, correct?
Yeah, you should. But remember, you mentioned sushi. Sushi.
I eat a lot of sushi.
Sushi is undercooked. Sashimi. So make sure you cook your foods well. That kills it. Washing it well. I'm not worried day to day, but I just need on this one. I know to treat. Like today, I told this woman, both her kids are sick with it. I said, treat right away. And you can end this in a day or so. Otherwise, it could be a month. It could be a miserable month.
And how about, I take mega doses of probiotics every day, like 60 billion, I don't know if it's called IUs, whatever it is, 60 billion inside my probiotics. Is that helpful against this, or this has nothing to do with that?
No, I think good GI tract health does make a difference. So probiotics, important. And, staying clear of alcohol, sugars, starches. We ought to be on our healthiest diets right now. I'm a big fan of working out and perspiration. I know it's hot as the devil out there in Vegas. It's also hot here in Dallas.
Well, you work out inside. You don't go outside. Yeah, I work out in my home gym.
I know, but, it's good to sweat. I worked out yesterday in Texas, worked out hard, swam in the pool to finish it off. But sweating is a good detoxifant, particularly for the spike protein that so many people accumulated with the SARS-CoV-2 infection and taking the vaccine.
And even if you didn't take the vaccine, I didn't take any vaccines, but who knows? I should probably take that test where they measure your spike proteins because people shed, right? So I may have them in my body too, right?
Right. And remember, Wayne, you got sick maybe 6 months to a year ago. You knocked it out quickly. But I always wonder if that was a COVID infection. So get your spike antibodies measured at LabCorp. You can go into LabCorp, ask for the COVID-19 antibody test. You can order it yourself online, $69, and get your test. If you're below 1,000 units per ml, you're free and clear. Above 1,000, probably should take the ultimate spike detox from the Wellness Company.
Oh, okay. So you'll do that test for me. I'll take that test with the Wellness Company. Is that right?
Yeah, well, you can just order it yourself, Wayne.
Oh,
go to LabCorp, Labs on Demand, order it yourself, and go into LabCorp and get it done.
Give me the name. What's the name of the test? I'm going to order that. What is it called?
Yeah, it's called the COVID antibody test. So if you go to LabCorp, Labs on Demand, COVID antibody test, sign up, pay $69, walk into LabCorp, get your test done. You'll get the result in a day, and you'll know if you're over 1,000, you've picked up some spike protein from shedding or recurrent infection.
I'll do it. And by the way, your memory is slightly off. I actually had COVID before my wedding, but that was 5 years ago. I got COVID. That's the last time I was really sick in any way, shape, or form. I got COVID, and I took mega doses of vitamin C. I had a visiting nurse come to my home and give me intravenous vitamin C and vitamin D and zinc. And I took all those vitamins, and I took massive doses of ivermectin, and it went away in 48 hours. Matter of fact, from the moment I took the ivermectin, it went away in 24 hours. So I'm a big believer in ivermectin.
Well, I know, Wayne, when you do things, you go big, and particularly on treatment. But, that's the way to go. People who died with COVID, and some people did, sadly, it's because they got no treatment at all. Right.
I know some of them. And they literally went in the hospital. All they did was immediately give them, what's the name of that one that kills everybody? That drug that kills everyone. I can't forget the name.
They gave, in the United States, believe it or not, they gave remdesivir.
Remdesivir, that's it.
And even the World Health Organization and the European Society of Critical Care said, don't use this drug.
Right.
But what did HHS do under the Biden administration? They featured that drug.
Remdesivir, and they immediately put him on a ventilator, which kills you. Ventilators kill an awful lot of people. But remdesivir is so bad that I've had nurses on my show as guests testifying that it killed almost every person they gave it to, and they gave it a nickname, Run, Death is Near. That's
Oh,
the
boy.
nickname for remdesivir. Run, death is near. That's what our government thought was the best treatment for COVID, and you wonder why people died of COVID. All right, let's talk about the recent death of Senator Lindsey Graham and also actor Sam Neill, a very famous actor who's been in a lot of big movies, and I was a fan of his, and I thought he was great. And if you follow my social media, I said in both of them, I never know, and I never say I know, but I say I'm suspicious that Sam Neill died from the COVID shot because you had to take it to get on movie sets. And Lindsey Graham, I'm suspicious, died. His heart exploded, basically, from the after effects of the COVID shot because he showed himself getting the shot on the air, on video, and told everyone, urged everyone to go get the shot. So I'm guessing he took every booster known to man. So I think you can conjecture, nobody knows, that in both cases it could have contributed to their death.
Well, let's take Neil first. He did publicly take the vaccine. He actually took the Janssen vaccine. He said one shot and he's done. That's Janssen. That's the one that's linked to ALS, or amyotrophic lateral sclerosis, Lou Gehrig's disease. That's what he died of. You know, this was the star on Grey's Anatomy. He died of a rapid course of ALS. He's 10 years younger than me, Wayne. This is terrible.
Oh, you're talking about Eric Dane now, not Sam Neill. Eric Dane. Is that what you're talking about?
Yeah.
Eric Dane?
Yeah, Eric Dane. I'm sorry.
Eric Dane, yeah. Because it's funny. I never watched that show, Grey's Anatomy. I didn't know who Eric Dane was until a few days ago when I started watching The Last Ship on Prime or Netflix, whatever I was watching in the gym. The Last Ship, and he's the star. It was filmed in 2014. And suddenly I realized, wait a minute. Eric Dane, isn't that the guy who died of ALS? And then I realized, yes, years later he died of ALS. Young, handsome guy, wasted away to nothing. Terrible.
Right, Eric Dane, yeah. So we're talking about Eric Dane. Now, importantly, there's a mutation called the SOD1 mutation. He probably had that, which made him prone to developing vaccine-induced ALS. I have a patient like that in my practice, in fact, two of them. And I said publicly in a tweet that he should posthumously get the mutations that can help guide his family members. They should measure spike protein in his brain and his central nervous system. I think that's probably what did it. Now, Lindsey Graham, different story. Lindsey Graham is age 71. And there, he dies of an aortic dissection. And I have to tell you what, this should never happen in any medical practice.
So is it possible that Lindsey Graham getting the COVID vaccine and all the boosters also contributed to that as well? Is that possible?
Yeah, it's been described. In fact, the deaths due to aortic stenosis, aortic dissection after vaccination have occurred relatively quickly after the vaccine. But what we know here is, with modern coronary artery calcium scoring and assessment, if he had a dilated aorta, everybody should have known about it. I don't miss this in my practice. And when there is a dilated aorta, I do genetic testing to see if they're at risk for dissection. But we just don't let people die of aortic dissection. I'm really shocked at the level of medical care here. If the aorta is really widened, there's a surgery that's done to stabilize it so people don't die of aortic dissection. So I think he either, didn't listen to his doctors or had a surprise dissection due to the vaccine.
Right, and don't forget, he had a family history. His dad died of a heart attack around the exact same age. So there's actually a family history of heart problems. So when people say that to me, they love to always debate me, oh, it's not the vaccine. Well, wait a minute. Just because you have a family history of heart disease and then you die of heart disease just like your father doesn't mean that it wouldn't have happened at all, or it wouldn't have happened for another 10 years if you hadn't gotten the vaccine. The vaccine helped it along.
Well, that's the thing. If I have a patient, let's just say his dad died of a dissection. If I had a patient who came in and said, my dad died of a dissection, I would do the CT scan and genetics, and I would do everything to prevent the dissection death. So, people with a family history, we extend their lives by decades because we have advance notice. In his case, his family history, you're right, Wayne, his family history set him up for a vaccine death that happened probably years after the shots.
Right. And then last but not least, I want to ask about one more, and that's the actor Sam Neill. That's a different guy than Eric Dane. Sam Neill was the Australian actor living in New Zealand who starred in many big films, and he had terrible cancer for the last 5 years. And then he just announced to the world, I am cancer-free. And 2 weeks later, he dropped dead, I think, of a heart attack. So again, I blame the vaccine. Every actor and every resident of New Zealand had to take every single vaccine, and then you wind up with cancer. It seems to me the vaccine used to be a killer with heart disease and strokes, but it eventually morphed into a cancer killer. All I hear about now is people with turbo cancer. They find out they have cancer and they're dead in like 2 weeks, and every one of them was vaccinated. So now the vaccine isn't just about heart and stroke events, it's about cancer. So I would suspect Sam O'Neill as well.
Yeah, you're right. So here we're talking about turbo cancer. Remember, Australia and New Zealand, they were pre-vaccinated before COVID hit that part of the world. So they're all pre-vaccinated. The vaccine doesn't work. They all catch COVID. Now they have the effects of both. And now multiple studies show, in fact, there's been a U.S. Senate hearing on this, Wayne, that sadly the COVID-19 vaccines and potentially even the infection make us more prone to cancer.
You know, here's a question out of left field. You didn't know this is coming, so hopefully you can answer it for me. But for the last 5 years, every year, it's clear to me from insurance statistics, insurance data, life insurance data, that we are having a massive die-off, a lot of excess deaths. And the excess deaths are all only in people who took the vaccine, not in the people who didn't. All of a sudden, I saw an article a few days ago that last year, the claim is it was the lowest deaths in years in the United States of America. I don't believe that for a second when I see so many of my friends dropping dead and so many Hollywood actors dropping dead. I think, once again, they're gaming the system. They're gaming the stats. Do you think it's possible we had an all-time low in deaths last year? I don't.
No, I don't think it's possible. Remember, it's always adjusted per some type of standardized population, but there may be a culling effect. This is important. Culling means that, people died of the infection, sick people who, were past their life expectancy, and now some people have died with the vaccine. We mentioned 3 of them who just died prematurely, and so that's kind of culling people out of the population.
So in other words, the ones who are left are the stronger ones, and maybe there was less deaths last year. Is that possible? I guess it is.
Right. So, when I'm examining patients who've had problem with the vaccines, Wayne, they almost always have a background condition, typically a genetic condition for heart disease or a predisposition to neurologic disease or cancer. A great mystery is why some people take these shots and they're perfectly fine.
Right.
Perfectly fine. And so I think those people are just genetically blessed that they've been able to tolerate these shots.
Or they're very lucky, because I've read that the shots, they can't standardize them. So some have a lot more spike proteins in them than others. So it's really Russian roulette whether you got the one with spike proteins or the one with very little.
Right.
That could also be one of the reasons why some people are doing just fine. But the key is, I keep telling all my friends and fans, if you already got it, there's nothing you can do to undo it except to take a lot of vitamins and go to the wellness company and make sure you've got all the right things, like what is it, natkinase? Am I pronouncing that right?
Right. Yeah, it's called the Ultimate Spike Detox. It looks like this, Wayne. It's got a gold label, Ultimate Spike Detox. Most people need to be on this who took the shots, who have had severe COVID. I personally take it. Helps prevent heart disease, blood clots. I'm still seeing late complications in my practice. People say, hey, doc, I took the shots in 2021, and all of a sudden, boom, a blood clot in 2026.
So even though I never took the shots, ever, I should take that too? You think so?
Yeah, if your blood test is over 1,000, I'd say play it safe and take it.
Well, let me go get it. So if it's under 1,000, then don't worry about it. But if it's over 1,000, take it. Okay.
Right.
All right. And so what I was going to say to you was, what's amazing is, you had the shot. Okay, if a person had the shot, not much you can do about it. You wish you could do over, but there are no do-overs in life. But you certainly should never take another one. And it's funny, because in the last month, I've been with 2 great friends who are 2 great Republicans, supporters of Trump. Everything I talk about, they agree with me. They're both MDs, and they both bragged in the middle of our dinners. 2 separate people, 2 separate dinners. Oh, I get my flu shots and I get my COVID shots every year, and I'm very proud of it. And I thought, all these doctors have been brainwashed, Peter. They're brainwashed. I just don't get it.
They're brainwashed. You know, more and more data suggests we should go natural, not keep taking flu shots or COVID shots or RSV. If you're people our age, Wayne, and we're strong, you know, diet, fitness, supplements, you know, go natural for a better outcome.
Yeah, and I've never taken a flu shot in my life, and I'm not a fan of flu shots either. So I've read a lot that they're not good for your immune system, so I just stay away from them. And it just seems like it can't be a coincidence, Peter. Every time I meet someone who's sick, I always say to them, hey, by the way, can I ask you a quick question? And they go, yeah. You know, on the phone now, again, if they're sick with the flu, they're not in front of me. But I always ask my friends on the phone, they go, oh, man, I've been down with the flu for 2 weeks. I'm so sick. I'm in bedridden. And I go, can I ask you a question? They go, yeah. Did you take the flu shot? And their answer is always yes.
Yeah.
So, and I never get the flu, and I don't take the flu shot. There must be a correlation there.
There is. Multiple trials show the flu shot actually backfires, more likely to get the flu and the common cold. A lot of people like me, Wayne, I was forced into it to be on medical staff. I took 40 years of flu shots. Yeah, listen, I was so sick. At the end of that, I was sick almost every month. I haven't taken a flu shot now in 5 years. I've never been healthier.
See, I just telling the flu shot makes everybody sick. And it certainly doesn't help. It doesn't stop you from getting sick because I don't take them and I don't get sick. So I don't know. We live in a crazy world, Peter. I'll tell you. I just can't believe two of my friends, huge Republicans, huge Trump supporters, brilliant doctors, and they're bragging about taking the COVID vaccine. And I didn't even get in a fight with them because, Peter, I just didn't even want to make enemies. We're in the middle of a nice dinner, and I just didn't even want to get them upset. And they're going to just say to me, Peter, you're Wayne Root, a famous talk show host. I'm a doctor. Don't debate with me about medicine. That's what they're going to say. So why even bother debating, right?
Yeah, you know, in my book, Wayne, on vaccines, listen, it's a religion. It's a religion. These are accepted based on religious faith. You can't argue with people about religion. You're better off changing the subject.
I did. I got away from it. I got back to Trump and the economy and other things. We all agreed on everything. So why get in a fight about it? It's a crazy world. I don't know what to say anymore. All the doctors are killing themselves. Isn't that crazy? It makes no sense. All right, Dr. Peter McCullough, a man who saves lives, a man with great wisdom and great common sense. Listen to everything this man says. All the things I say, people go, Wayne, how are you this smart about COVID and COVID vaccine and medicine? I go, because I listen to Peter McCullough. That's why I'm this smart. I listen to people that are smart. Peter McCullough is my mentor when it comes to medicine. So thank you, Peter, for making me a smart guy and helping save lives. Peter McCullough, world-renowned physician and scientist, chief scientific officer at the Wellness Company, and the website, go get that kit that has all the antibiotics and ivermectin in it. You never know when you need it. TWC.health for the Wellness Company, TWC.health. Peter, thanks for saving lives and thanks for educating us.
Thank you.
God bless you. We'll be right back. Wayne Allyn, this is Warzone Live. Last segment coming up.